going on, everybody? It is Wednesday, and it is Dollar Day. It is Wall Moving Day. And on top of all that, we've got the chance of tornadic weather today. Looking at the last weather reports, though, we were level 5 heading into today from the reports that I was seeing. And then it looks like the level 5 has kind of, scale 1 to 5 as far as tornadic weather. 5 is not good. High probability of tornadoes in that area. But we're kind of on the edge. We're on the precipice. We're on the cusp of where it could be, especially kind of this I-30 corridor. I don't know if you're familiar with Arkansas map. It's the I-30 corridor, which runs up through, Texas, up through Texarkana, up to Little Rock, and then kind of to Memphis. And then there's like another corridor. But looks like the weather isn't going to be as bad as originally suggested, but it's still supposed to be bad. They're talking about, big hail. And it's looking at the weather as far as when it's supposed to come through. It's not like it's supposed to come through until probably 3 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock. So it's hitting later than expected or originally had thought, which is good because I wasn't sure exactly how today was going to go. You've got Dollar Day, you're really selling almost pretty much everything at a loss, but it's kind of helps mitigate your losses. And you don't have a bunch of leftover stuff. And with the weather coming in today, I didn't know how, the traffic would be affected. But since it's coming in later today, it should be a good, busy morning, especially if people are trying to get out before the storm hits. I'd even debated doing a 75-cent sale for all of our bin items, which when we do that, I don't know why, but we get tons of more traffic, even though it's only a quarter less, but that quarter really drives people in. I thought about doing a 75-cent sale to help drive traffic today, but I decided against it just because you've got to sell. I mean, if you sell 1,000 items at $1,000, you've got to sell 250 more items at 75 cents just to do the same amount of sales. So it wasn't worth it to me. But the doors are fixing to open up. It is 9:45 now, and hopefully traffic will be good today. It is 12:41, and we are fixing to start getting ready to move that wall back. But we're going to be closing early today because of the weather. It's like, one, is it going to be bad, the weather? Is it going to be rainy? Yes. Are there possibilities for tornadoes? Yes. At the same time, this is Arkansas. We're used to that, to be honest. That's just how it is in Arkansas. But the reason why I'm talking about closing at 4 is because of this. So this is at 4 o'clock right there. And then 4:12, 4:30, and then it's just big, thick storm band from 5 o'clock on. And with that, people are not going to get out here in Arkansas. And then by the time it's done, it's 7 o'clock. So it's like we've got 2 hours of really intense rain. And I'm like, we could be open during that time. I could, and nobody would come in. And then my employees, there's only so much work to do. So I'm like, well, let's just not do that. I could close at 4, and then we can keep this staff and work through the rain and everything. And then we can get a jump start on restock day tomorrow. We can go ahead and empty all the bins out and everything. But I think the right thing to do as an employer is let them go home. so we're going to close at 4 o'clock today. That way, they've all, I think the furthest one lives like 20 minutes away. So that way they can get home, get safe with their families, and hunker down for the evening, and not have to worry about the weather here at the store, or they're driving home afterwards, or having to stay past 7 o'clock because they don't want to drive in bad weather. So that's what we're going to do, but we're going to get ready to move the wall here shortly. Wall is all moved. Just got to put it back together now, but it is all moved. That will have to be moved somewhere, but we ran out of space back there in the back. But it looks good. It looks a lot bigger in here. I'll have to get another wide angle shot later on. But this is the back now. But that's how tight it is back here. It is super tight. It's going to be fun getting these pallets out tomorrow, but the wall is finally moved. And it is 1:40, so it didn't take that long at all to get moved. We close in 2 hours and 20 minutes roughly. The storm's going to be coming in after that, so it's shaping into and it's still pretty busy out there too. So a much better day than I thought it would be. You just never know with the weather here in Arkansas. And but man, I'm excited. The wall is done. The wall, well, I guess it's not all the way done, but it's moved. The wall is moved. So it is 4 o'clock and we are now closed. All the customers are gone and it has just started raining outside. And I think it's supposed to, if you look here, we're there. It's fixing to start here probably, I don't know. It may not start for a little while. A big part of it may miss us here, which would be super exciting to not really get hammered with the strong tornadic front thing. That's encouraging, that last radar thing. Who knows if that's going to be true or not. I don't know. These storms, there's just so much that affects how explosive they become. But I know that they have downgraded our area, the way that everything is going, the way that the jet stream is going, into where it looks like it's going to hit further east of us. And by this radar here, then that may be the latest projections that they're going with. But the wall has all been pushed back, and it looks really good, the finished product. We've got some of the bins in place. We'll have to get a couple more, and we're only going to use these bins temporarily. Eventually, we'll go to these bins here. These are just going to go temporarily. I've got 2 more bins like this one that are going to go here, and then I've got to put a curtain right there, because eventually this wall will go bye-bye. But for now, that's kind of how it is. But I think it looks a lot bigger in here. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, if y'all think it looks bigger in here. And maybe not, I don't know. It looks a lot bigger in here to me, but it does look a lot bigger in here to me. But that's where I'm going to leave y'all today. I've got to get up here early in the morning tomorrow, because we've got all the food coming in tomorrow. And I'm just going to have to shove it in here, which I did come up with some ideas, some plans for the lack of storage space in the stock room now for when we do receive our truckloads every other week. And I'll talk about that in a future video, but I think it might solve some of the storage problems that we had without having to get a pod or a storage building outside to store some of our extra store fixtures and such. But I'm going to get home and be with the kids before this weather does start. I know Lucy, she gets a little nervous about the storms, but we always say, be prepared, not scared. We watch a YouTuber, Ryan Hall, y'all, and he does live streaming during the storms, and he is very, very good. So if you don't know Ryan Hall, we'll put a link down in the description for that. But let us know what y'all think about the changes that we made with the wall finally being thing. We've been talking about this wall for probably the last 7-8 videos, but the wall is finally moved, and now it's on to the next. But we appreciate y'all so much. Until next time, peace.